We're here to lift off the sourwood. A few days ago we put the sourwood supers above escapes and left them empty underneath. We've done 6 or 7 yards already today, and we figured out that we did a good thing. Our timing was just right. The bees have continued to make a few pounds. These supers do have a little bit of honey in them, but it's also not entirely sourwood, whereas what's above the escapes is, at least in this yard. So our timing was good, and what we did was smart. We're going to actually use the same escape and slip it under that super that's above the double deep brood nest today. I think it's time to take it all off, and we'll just be done with it. There might be a couple pounds yet to come in. I'm happy just to let that slip into the brood nest. No problem with that. Sourwood is over in this location. We're close to the shop. We're on my neighbor Jack's property. It's real close to the shop, just 3 miles away. So this is one of the culprits for mixing other honey with our sourwood towards the end, sumac. There's an early variety that blooms right before sourwood, and then this variety that blooms as the sourwood is ending. And looks like dirty dishwater in the comb. And interestingly enough, it does not take very much to make the sourwood taste different and look different. Now that's our first load of sourwood honey coming in. Just got started pulling it today. It's Monday. Let's see, let me look at my phone. July 21st. Been pulling the yards that are around the shop. Later in the week we'll go up north. So most of those are fullish. A few that are only half full. John's been breaking a sweat today. These zinnias have proven to be quite a thing. Every morning, as soon as the sun comes up, the bees are all over them. It's pretty obvious that zinnias are a bee plant, bee-friendly plant. And of course, they're absolutely beautiful, easy to grow, drought resistant, sorta. Not just bees, other pollinators like them too. And we got a lot of yards to pull still. This is just around the shop. We still have to go up north later in the week and do all those yards. At this point, as near as I can tell, it's going to be a below average crop. We have some yards that did fairly well, but we had so many that didn't do well or didn't do anything at all. Of course, I'll know a lot more in a few days, but right now I'd say our crop is going to be below average as a total. Even though we had some really good yards, the total overall average will be below average. John loves pulling honey. He told me he goes to sleep dreaming about it at night.
Yes, right. No, it never gets old though, seeing a heavy super.
No, it's fun, yeah. A lot of work, but it's nice to see it coming in.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah.
Jesse, I think John and Jason have too much fun in the bee yard. I have to revisit that.
Right.
I'm not sure who has the most fun with John, Jason or Clint. Haven't figured that out yet.
Probably Clint.
Probably Clint, yeah.
Clint's retired. He just likes to have fun.
Yeah. It gets quite colorful. I know you know that. Selena just grins and bears it. She just listens and smiles and goes on, never says a word.
That's the best thing to do.
Yeah. Jason's pretty good in the bee yard.
Yeah.
He anticipates everybody's move. He tries to stay ahead of you, keep you fed, keep the equipment coming your way before you even ask for it.
That's what you need.
That's what you need, yeah. Not everybody's like that. So it's a drizzly day in northeast Georgia. A little bit wet, but not excessively so we're able to get some work done. We're near Dillard, and what we're doing, this is one of the last 6 or 7 yards where we're lifting the sourwood. And some of the colonies here are double deeps, but some are also singles. And what we're doing with the singles is putting on a box of deep drawn comb. Brought a truckload with us. I want to get as many of my colonies as possible going into winter as a double deep this year. I'm going to have to talk about that at length one of these days, but I really do prefer double deeps for a number of reasons. I won't get into that here. I got a little help from a couple friends today, so that makes things go really fast. John and Jason are off feeding some small nukes and stuff this afternoon, so it's nice to have some help. These bees didn't do too bad. I'd say mediocre. Definitely not a bumper crop, but they made something. Selena was here about a week ago and put on this last empty box, and they did nothing with it. All of the honey is in the lower 2 boxes. So it looks like it stopped here about a week ago. And we've only been here 10 minutes and they're all over the truck. Those are sticky frames. They got extracted a couple weeks ago. So robbing is definitely into high gear. And that's one of the reasons I like having smaller yards. This is a yard of 32. And 4 people can get in and out of here pretty quick doing this before it gets just absolutely crazy. This is Devil's Walking Stick. And if you ever lay your hand on one of these stalks or trunks, you'll understand why they call it the Devil's Walking Stick. I'm going to get up close, see if I can take a good picture. It's full of these little spiky things. Bees love it, apparently. They're all over it. Went online and looked for information on it last night, and they say it's a pollen and a nectar producer. There's not tons of it in our neighborhood. There's just patches here and there. Sourwood-ish. Maybe I need to make a label that says Sourwood-ish. Well, Nathan's been extracting for a day or 2 on this sourwood crop. We've really got a mixed bag here. The stuff he's extracting right now is really good, really nice. There isn't a lot of it. What we look for is clarity on the pan, the conveyor pan. If we see any color at all, we know that it's going to turn out kind of darker than light amber in the jar. So what he's running right now is looking pretty good. We're trying to grade it in a jar. But what we're running across is a lot of mixed stuff in our sourwood. Some yards seem to be pure, others are not. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick this up. But that has a lot of color in it that shouldn't be there. It's sumac, I know what it is. This would have probably come from a yard that didn't have a very heavy flow. You see that, Nathan? You see the color in there?
I do.
Okay. We're going to have to be careful with this stuff. But we're literally going to sort it out. This is not something a commercial outfit should have to do. But we're forced to sort to keep the best stuff. We're going to have 3 grades of this stuff. One is going to be the very best, like you have in that blue drum right there. And the other, next grade will be number 2 grade, which will be kind of like this jar. And then we're going to have a grade that just is simply going to be not sourwood. And we got some out there in the warehouse right now that they just brought in. And we're just going to have to keep it separate. Keep it aside until you're done extracting what we think is sourwood. And then we'll switch over to the not so, I don't want to use the word not good because it's great honey. It's just not the premium sourwood. And that's what happens when you don't have a good crop. It doesn't come in heavy enough and you get this other stuff mixed in, and we're running into this. We had a lot of yards trying to produce sourwood this year, and I'd say only 5 or 6 did a good job on the quantity and the quality. That's a good looking cone. You can just tell by looking at it. It doesn't have any of that other color in there. Nathan informs me that we're selling a bunch of wax all of a sudden. I don't know what that means, why it would pick up just suddenly. We do sell a lot of wax, but why it would increase in late July, I have no idea. Anyway, nice looking wax. Nathan does this, melts and cleans the wax. I want to go into this room and explain what's going on. So we've had some issues. This honey. So you extracted what, 2 days ago, 3 days ago?
Yes, sir, 2 days ago.
Okay. We had to bring things to a halt because this big commercial dehumidifier was not doing its job properly. Wasn't bringing the humidity down. So we brought in one of our old ones, and Nathan's fixed it. It's back up and running, so we're going to bring the humidity down again. Usually these supers only need to be in here for 2 or 3 days with the fans blowing down on them to dry it out significantly. I know some people have been watching the videos that we're putting out and making comments like, how can you extract honey that's not capped? And in some cases we were even showing honey that was splashing, being harvested, splashing when you bump the frame. And yeah, normally you cannot extract stuff like that and expect it not to ferment when you process it. But that little gizmo right there is the ticket. We bring the humidity down way low in here, 25, 35%, turn the fans on, and in a few days the on-cap portion is actually really dry. And then when he gets around to extracting, the on-cap blends with the stuff behind the cappings, and we end up with something down around 16%, sometimes even a little lower, 15.5%. I really feel strongly that that's a better product than something that's 18% moisture. In my view, 18% moisture is not good enough. We try to get it well below that. So it's a Friday. Nathan, we'll let this run over the weekend now that we got this situation fixed. And I think on Monday morning you should be able to extract. So this room will get quite warm with these 2 units running, probably 95 degrees. And we have these cooler coils in here that we use occasionally when we have to drop the temperature in the room down low for whatever reason. Like if we can't extract right away, we can cool the room down and keep the bugs from going crazy, the wax moths and the hive beetles. So Nathan's going to come in on Sunday afternoon and turn the cooler coils on, and we'll drop this room down to about 85 degrees for extracting purposes. We found that if the comb is very warm, that the newer combs tend to get the cells kind of get stripped off the foundation.
They just peel off.
They just peel off when it's really warm going through the on-capping process. Once they've got a couple years on them, that's not a problem. But the brand new virgin type comb doesn't do well when it's really warm. We have settled on about 85 degrees being the temperature that we want to extract with our automated on-capping equipment. Boy, so many of these supers are not full. Some are. Some yards did really good, 3 solid supers, maybe a little more, but there just wasn't that many of them. We currently have 36 bee yards, and I'd say only 5 or 6 did what I would call real good. And then probably a good majority of the rest did maybe a third of a normal crop, and then The ones beyond that made 0. All of the yards south of the shop made absolutely 0 sourwood. So if I had to put the results of this sourwood season in a nutshell, I would call it poor, definitely well below average. Try not to be disappointed. I know that's the game with sourwood. Some years we do really good and some years you don't. And I was just telling a friend of mine yesterday that if this was easy, if sourwood was easy, half the country would be up here making it. So maybe it's okay the way it is, where we get good years and bad years. This is Georgia Zumwalt. She just got through teaching a master beekeeping class here, and she's going to show these guys how to use our refractometer on our most recent honey that we extracted. Just extracted that yesterday, so you can explain it to us all.
All right, so we're going to use this refractometer. We're going to put a little bit of honey on the front end right here. We're going to put that lid down, squish it down a little bit, and then look through here. There'll be an area where you'll be able to see the percentage of the hydration of the honey. And when you're looking through, you can also turn this dial. This particular one has a diopter on it, so you can twist it if you wear glasses to make it perfect for your vision. So what we're going to do here is get into the honey. And this is sourwood, right?
It is, yeah.
Put a little bit on here. Oh. Just kind of get on there so it will go across. And then squish that down flat so that you see that the honey is covering this blue area right there. And then looking through, this reads 16%. Just barely a little on the other side of 16%. So I'm going to pass that around so you can see that. See how now that you see a split in the color of the lines?
I do.
And that's right where it's at.
Somebody else want to try?
Jump on it and take a peek. It's a great tool, and it's a simple tool to use.
There you go.
This is good honey. Now
All
we
right.
can taste it.
Yeah, go ahead and taste it. Yeah, see what you think.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to just take my same spoon here that I had. I think I might get some a little bit more. Go ahead and grab some spoons here. Sourwood's best. This is so good. Go for it. Jump on in. And sourwood is so unique to this area. I know where I'm at. I'm in the Piedmont region. I have sourwood that blooms, but it blooms when a lot of other things are in bloom. So I have just tiny bits of sourwood in my honey, but not enough to get that flavor right there. That's just amazing.
Almost like Sambuca. Bob
It's
says,
a little bit of
put that on my
anise
peanut butter
flavor.
sandwich,
Sure, it
right?
doesn't-
That's right, yeah. Chris is a sourwood producer too. He's not far from us here. So your honey should be just like that, really. All right, cool, thank you.
What's the white ring around the top?
The white ring, this is extremely raw honey. That's right out of the extractor.
Okay.
What this is it represents a sample. This is sample number 9, 2025, grade 2. 1 being what we would consider the best, 5 what we would be considered the worst. So our feelings are that would be a number 2 on a scale of 1 to 5. So I have had sourwood that tasted better, believe it or not. It's hard to believe when you taste that, but I have had better. And then we've got plenty in there that's, grade 5. Now that when I say grade 5, I don't mean bad honey. I mean, is this sourwood or not? And we've got some grade 5 in there that you can taste the sourwood in it, but I wouldn't put a sourwood label on it. That's grade 2. I would definitely put a Sourwood label on that right there.
Are the grades subjective, Bob, or is something?
Yeah, I had somebody say the other day to me when we were doing this little spiel, he said, well, that's just your opinion. I said, yes, ma'am, that's my opinion. That's grade 2 right there. And I just had to tease her a little bit about that. This Sourwood thing takes time to, I cannot tell you how many people have been in this store in the last 2 weeks asking us to tell them if their honey's Sourwood or not. 90% of the time I had to tell them it's got Sourwood in it, but I wouldn't put a Sourwood label on it. That's very common, very common. Great honey, great honey. I mean, anything that's got Sourwood in it is probably some of the better honey you've had. We were just helping a customer, their store's in there. The lady came up and was asking about Sourwood, and Amanda told her that Virginia had won best honey in the world at Apimondia with Sourwood honey. And the lady tasted it and then said, I don't see the big deal. So it really is apples and oranges. What do you like? You know, not everybody thinks Sourwood honey is some of the best. It's my personal favorite. I would say 3 out of 4 people that taste this in the store say it's some of the better honey they've tasted. Not everybody thinks it's the best. And I've also learned that just because I think something's good or bad doesn't mean that it's so, because everybody has it. It really does come down to personal preference. It's very much that way. And that right there, that's pretty good stuff.
That's good stuff, yeah, absolutely.